Hi, welcome to the Morton Matchday Programme. Coming up in today's show, we'll be hearing from technical head coach Billy Davis ahead of the game against Ayr United. We'll be taking you behind the scenes when Capello went a little bit continental this week. We'll be hearing from Jackson Longridge about how he settled into the club, and we'll also have a classic encounter against the Honest Men. First of all though, here's Billy.
Billy, starting off, it's obviously been an extremely sad week for everyone associated with Morton. What's your message been to the players this week, and how have the coaching staff and the full club as a whole been supporting Dougie, Warren and then the whole family?
Well, as you said, Gareth, it's been a very, very difficult week, a very sad week for everybody involved here. Our hearts and our condolences and our thoughts obviously go to Dougie and his family. And it certainly has been a very difficult week, and a very, as I said, a very sad situation. But what we can do is just, as best as we can here, just carry on as business as usual. The club obviously has to prepare for a match. That's been a very difficult preparation, but the players and the staff on the training ground have been first class, and we've all tried to do what we really need to do, and which is to prepare as best as we can for the next match coming up.
Yeah, and in that preparation, what are some of the challenges that you're expecting from there tomorrow?
Well, obviously you do get reaction. Many people suffer in different ways, Gareth. We know that. There's many different reactions. Some of these guys in here have known the manager a long time, and of course other ones, like myself, a very short time. But what we do know is that it's just horrific. It's probably the best word you can use. It's just so sad. And all you can do is just encourage the players to do the right things and be professional and prepare and allow the business to run as normal, and prepare for another very difficult match.
And how do you view tomorrow's match?
Well, again, I think this Championship League this year, I don't think you can really compare one against the other. Every game is going to be very difficult, Gareth. All teams are well organised. They're all chasing that tremendous goal of trying to get automatic places and try to get into the playoffs. That's obviously what everybody's wish and dream is, but it's a very difficult league. We know that. There's a lot of strong sides in this league. Ayr United have got a lot of good players, very good staff, and again, we've got to be right on the ball here in our own attitude, our own application and our own desire to go and get 3 points.
Yeah, and of course looking to get back into winning ways, I suppose, after last week's result. How would you reflect on the game against Aberdeen?
Well, I don't think there's any other way you can reflect it except it was just not good enough. And the disappointing thing is, and I understand sometimes when you face these Premier League teams, what can happen, Gareth, is the fear factor can put you on the back foot. And I think we looked a bit frightened of the opposition. I don't think we played our natural game. More importantly, as the players were warned all week, you've got to go in and you've got to make it an aggressive game against big teams that come to this ground, because that's always the case at Capello. Capello over the years and decades, you knew you came here and you got a tough game, not just technically, but physically you got a very, very difficult match, and that's where we let ourselves down. We were not physical enough. We didn't put enough tackles in. We weren't close enough to the Aberdeen players. We didn't play on the front foot. We didn't play with that aggression required to go and win matches. And if that is a lesson at all to these players, then these players must surely look at that and think to themselves that no matter what game you play, if your application's not right, your attitude's not right, your desire to run and fight and scratch is not right, then that's the outcome. So we're hoping to see a big reaction this weekend, and we're hoping that the guys can go, and more importantly, for Dougie and his family, get us those 3 points that we would very much love to have.
And when it comes to league action so far this season, how would you assess the start and looking to build on those two games so far?
Well, I think, like Aberdeen, and I had the fortune of sitting beside two officials, assessors of the referee. There's no doubt we should be sitting with 4 points, Gareth, because the 3 points that Thistle were taken away from us. That evidence is now being proved to be correct, and that apology did come in from the officials from the Thistle game. So we really should be sitting with that 4 point mark and sitting in that top three. Justifiably, that's where we should be. Although the performance against Aberdeen was very disappointing, But once again, I got the agreement from the officials in the stand that the first goal, there was a push on a Morton player in the halfway line. Then the second goal certainly looked a bit offside. So at the minute, one or two little things have went against us. I've said in the past that hopefully over a long, hard season, these things will even themselves out. But overall, decent start, 2 very difficult games, Dunfermline and Thistle. And certainly nobody would begrudge us the 4 points that we thoroughly deserve to have. Unfortunately, that was not the case.
And we saw a great backing against Aberdeen last weekend. What would your message be to the supporters ahead of this game tomorrow?
Well, be patient, guys. We've all just came together over the last number of weeks. Players are still looking to find their feet physically because some of them missed pre-season and still playing catch-up. We're still getting to know a lot of these guys and new staff have come in. So patience, I think, is the key. And as the weeks go by, I'm sure you'll see this side getting stronger and stronger. We've already showed flashes of that over the last couple of games. But at the same time too, we know we've got young players here. We know that we're still developing and building on fitness levels and understandings between combinations and departments. And there's no magic wand. Like building anything, it takes time. And we've got no doubt we'll eventually get there with the hard work and the application that we've been shown.
Food for thought there from Billy Davis. Coming up shortly, we'll have highlights from that last game against Ayr United, and of course we're still to hear from Jackson Longridge. However, Capello had some very special visitors this week when FC Buga arrived to use our technical facilities to prepare for the UEFA Champions League qualifying game against Rangers on Tuesday night. We went behind the scenes and shot some footage.
Jackson, starting off, it's obviously been an extremely sad week for everyone involved with the club. How have the squad come together to support Dougie, Warren and the whole family?
Yeah, I think this week's been really tough for the squad, the club as a whole. I think the whole football community felt this week, and I feel like since we've come in it's been obviously a really tough week, but I think the team as a whole need to come together and support Dougie and Lauren in this tragic time. So yeah, it's just been a really difficult week, but again we've got a game Saturday to focus on, so it's just about coming together and hopefully get a win for them.
Yeah, like you say, they're coming together ahead of tomorrow. What are the boys' thoughts heading into this one?
Again, another tough match. I think obviously both teams will be coming here and it'll be a real battle, but it's one that we'll be looking to come out on top. So.
And looking back at the Aberdeen game, obviously it wasn't the performance that the boys would have hoped for, but what lessons has the squad taken from that one?
Yeah, there's a lot of lessons to take from that game. I think we started the game relatively well, had a good strong shape, and then once they got their goal, I think we can always look back on a goal and see what we can do better, but I think we just didn't get tighter to them. I think we just gave them too much respect at the end of the day, and with teams like that you're going to get punished. So I think the lessons are that next time we should have a real go and have more of a go for it, and take it from there.
And in terms of the start to the league, obviously 2 draws, but extremely unlucky to not come away with all 3 up at Firhill as well. How would you assess the start to the league campaign?
Yeah, it's been a really good start. Obviously the penalty at Firhill was me, and it was I felt that it wasn't a penalty, but it's finished now. So I think the most frustrating part was we could have had a clean sheet and a 1-0 win. So for me that was really frustrating, but we can't do nothing about that now. So it's just about tomorrow, doing the same things and battling and doing our individual battles, and hopefully we can come out on top.
And on a personal note for you as well, you've obviously taken up the role of captaincy in a number of games so far this season. How have you found it stepping into that role when called upon?
Yeah, first game I got asked to be the captain, and it's been a real honour for me to captain the club. So it's new for me, and I think that I'm more than capable of stepping in and helping the team as much as possible again. It just shows that the gaffer and Billy have got trust in me to go onto the pitch and try and help the boys and speak as much as possible and use my experience. So I think, yeah, it's a real honour, and it's a privilege to captain the club. And
you speak about trust there. How important is it to see that trust from the gaffer and Billy to hand you the captaincy like that?
No, definitely. I think for me it just gives me a bit of confidence knowing that they've got that trust in me, and for me at the back it's just about helping the boys in front and just trying to keep it solid at the back really, and speak as much as possible throughout the match. So yeah, it's a different responsibility for me having the band, but yeah, it's something that I'm cherishing.
Of course, when asked to take on the responsibility of captaincy, to fill in these moments, has it changed your approach to the games at all, and the way you communicate and the way that you try and lead on the pitch?
I don't think it's changed too much, to be fair. I always try and speak as much as possible, being one of the more experienced players on the pitch. So I don't think it's changed the way I approach the game or the way I am on the pitch, but it definitely gives me a bit more responsibility having the armband on. And yeah, it's just about taking it forward really.
And how have you been finding your time at the club so far overall, and I suppose how the team grown together?
No, brilliant. I think the last time I spoke to you, as soon as I came in, I felt at ease straight away. I knew a few of the boys previous to coming here, so the gaffer and Billy and the whole squad's been brilliant with me. So I've settled really quickly, to be fair, and I've loved every minute so far.
And heading into this one tomorrow, of course, both teams coming off of defeat in the League Cup as well, but how do you hope to try and use that as extra motivation for this one? I
think we don't need much motivation because we're at home. I think every game at home we should be looking to win the game, and it comes down to us at the end of the day, the starting 11, the boys on the bench coming on, just applying ourselves right, and then making sure that we're doing our individual jobs, come as collective, and then win the game.
Hi, welcome to Green at Morton Football Club. Where every home game is a special occasion. It's about the football, it's about the experience, and Matchday Hospitality, as sponsored by Tech Technology, myself and the team pride ourselves on giving you the best possible day out. With special guests, great match seats, a 3-course dinner with bar, and an entertaining afternoon. That's our show, folks. What a day it's been. It's always a great day here for the Matchday Hospitality at Morton. The only thing missing is you. So what are you waiting for? Get yourself down here. Many thanks to everybody who's contributed to this week's show, and of course another massive thanks to you for tuning in. Now, it's been a sad week here for the Morton family, and as a club our hearts remain firmly with Dougie, Lauren and their family.